Hello ladies and gentlemen and everything in between, welcome to Kismet's Corner. Today we're going to be looking at my extended EDC. So EDC stands for Everyday Carry. I'll do a video of my actual everyday carry here shortly. But this is my extended EDC, or sort of a I need to get some stuff done loadout. So this is a Skinth Solutions Mondo shield pouch. It's from a guy or a company up in Canada, and these are all custom made. They're made out of the same materials as pouches like this. You can see that it's pretty much the same weave. I think some sort of Cordura. I forget what kind of Cordura it is, but I've had this for 2 years and you can barely tell. The only thing that's going wrong is this stitch right there. That's the only thing that's going wrong, and it's just a little loose. It's not even undone. It's just a little loose. And these buttons were pure black when I got them. Now they're kind of silvery. They had like a coating on them, like this. Black with a kind of silvery. That's worn off a bit. But this is probably the most maxed out Mondo shield pouch out there. I've tried to add things to this and I can't. This thing is just packed. And yesterday I built a holder organizer for in here, and I'll show you that in a minute. And I think I've perfected this. I think this has been through several iterations and different. It's changed purpose a couple times, like what I wanted to use this for. And I think I've finally got it here. So we're gonna open it up. It's pretty packed. So the basis of this pouch and what it's used for, the main tool is the Leatherman Surge. I love this thing. This is probably, in my estimation, the best Leatherman out there in terms of tools and capability. And I love this thing. Briefly, regular knife, scissors. These scissors aren't particularly great, which is why I have these. These are Klein tools, Electricians, scissors, Shears. There's a debate on whether you call them scissors or shears. It has a serrated blade, and this is cool. This is a file, but it's also a jigsaw blade holder. This is a normal T-shank, and I have some spare blades in here. This one is a clean for wood. This one is a speed for wood, which is more of a rough cut. And then this one's a little small, so it's hard to get out. This is for metal. And all of these can fit in this holder, and you've got a pretty permanent semi-permanent handle. You can get a lot of work done with these. So I just keep the file in there because I don't really need to cut stuff that much, but when I do, it's handy. I'll get that back in later. So then on the inside, you have regular combination pliers, cutters with replaceable inserts, hardwire cutter. On this side, you have a replaceable bit driver, and you can have a bunch of different bits. Leatherman makes these. It's the Leatherman bit kit. 42 different bits. The only problem with these is that they're flat, so you don't get the full 3D bit, like full 3-dimensional bit. But I've never had any problems with these. Some people say they have and they prefer standard bits. And yeah, I guess like if you break one of these, you'd have to get a complete other kit to get a bit. So it's not great, but for the ease of carry, it's pretty wonderful. Can opener, bottle opener. On this side, I've changed the tool out. Here's an all reamer with a selling eye, sort of a large flathead pry bar thing. This is from a Leatherman Wave, I think. I put this in here. This is a micro screwdriver bit. This comes out and it's very small Phillips, very small flathead. This used to be a small flathead, probably about that big, but I felt like it was a little redundant, so I wanted this as an eyeglass thing. I don't wear glasses, but I know people who do, so this is just nice. Sometimes this is good for poking and prying, like very light prying, and of course eyeglasses. So Leatherman Surge, in my opinion, probably the best tools going in a Leatherman. So scissors, of course, talked about those. All the blades, the bits. Have a Sharpie, pretty much ubiquitous. This is a Norton's cleaning stick in titanium, sold by CountyComm. It has a very thin prying lever here, and a sort of thin curved wedge here. Very good pry bar. Going back to Leatherman, there are 2 bit holders that I carry with this, and I'll show you what you can do. Alright, so this is how the bit holder is. You can just use this as a normal screwdriver, but if you need more length, you can put this in there. This is a regular non-ratcheting bit driver, so you can use Leatherman bits in here, but you can also use standard bits. Here's a normal Phillips bit, and that fits just fine. I modified, oh, it's hard to get out there. I put a magnet in here. Normally there's just a weird clip that's in there that doesn't hold the bits very well, but I put a magnet, and that magnet is really strong. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there it is. I put a magnet in there, and it's a little too strong. I had to use the pliers to get it out, but I guess you're not going to be worried about bit retention with that. So the other adapter is an actual bit made by Leatherman, and it is a ratcheting bit driver. So it takes the flat bits and it takes standard bits. This came with a magnet in it, so I didn't have to modify it at all. This thing is fantastic. It's you can see there, you can switch it from left, right, and in the middle it locks so it doesn't move. It's fantastic. Alright, so this is a metal skewer cut down, like this is one of those skewers you'd use for like a shish kebab. It's made out of metal. It's a good little poker and cheap, so if I break it I can just throw it away or whatever. Good for poking, light prying. Neat little tool. These are tweezers. Slant tip tweezers by Zizzly Basics. I put a little, this is Dyneema thread or rope, cord, whatever you want to call it. Great stuff. I don't need it to be this strong. This stuff is like 100-pound test, I think, which is insane for its size, but just a little in the case. There's that much of the tweezers poking out. It's really hard to get to, so I just put a little rope pole on it to get those out easier. This is a TPT slide by Big Idea Design, and I put a little snake knot fob on it to give some extra leverage. What this is a utility blade holder. You press this button here in and you can pull the blade out. I'm using Lennox Gold blades, which have fork cutouts, so you can get a little bit of extended length. These are fantastic. You can take the blade out, bottle opener, kind of a small universal wrench. It's kind of hard to see, but there are cutouts there, and goes all the way up, and you can use it as a universal wrench, kind of. Pry bar and hex bit driver. And finally, the last thing in here is Victorinox nail clippers. These are great. I've had them for a long time, still sharp, and use them pretty often. So the thing I put in here, this doesn't come with it. This is what you get when you get the Skinth Solutions sheath. I forgot to mention that these are snaps instead of Velcro, which are fantastic. I hate Velcro. This part right here is where the product tag was that it cut off. It had a tag on it, and I hate tags. I wish that wasn't white. I might color that in. I just haven't thought about that, but these sheets are fantastic. But for about 2 years, I was carrying this like this. Let me put this up. I was carrying the tool like this, just everything stuffed in here, and it was really annoying that when I would take this out, the bits and other tools would just rattle around. And so yesterday I made this. This is a aluminum sublimation blank that I messed up on. It printed backwards. You can't read that, of course. This was I Want to Believe from X-Files. I thought it was funny, but it printed backwards. So instead of throwing away, I just kept this for material. And yesterday, I turned it into a little holder. And this works great. I'm so happy with how this turned out. So on the inside, you can put Leatherman Surge and the bit kit. And that stays nice and organized in the pouch. And so all the other tools don't get in the way, and when I remove the Leatherman, the bits stay in place. So that was awesome. So the design of this, I just measured everything out and folded aluminum. It's taped together with double-sided tape. I completed the whole box before adding this divider. I forgot to add the divider first before I closed up the side, so I had to get really creative with how I got this in here. What I ended up doing was putting a small zip strip along the edge of the tape. I'm using Gorilla Tape. Let me see if I can get a flashlight so you can see it better. There. That's Gorilla Tape. And I use zip strips so I could press the tape down and have leverage across the whole side of tape, and folded that in and inserted that, then let it go so it taped the sides. It worked out pretty well. It's a little off, but what can you do? So the other thing I had to do is take the bottom out of this. You can see my pinky. When this was in the bottom here, it made this completely flat, and I couldn't close the snaps because it was too tall. And so what I had to do was cut the bottom out of this so that the tool could go beyond that hole and sort of bend this so it compressed the whole thing down. So that was kind of a work, but it works now. It works pretty good. So anyway, this has been my extended EDC. Thanks for watching. Oh, sorry about that. I almost forgot. I wanted to get some measurements for you guys. So, it is 3 1/8 inches wide, including the clip back here. I'm trying to get the widest point. Is about 2.5 wide by hard to tell height, because if you include these, it's kind of long. But if you just want the pouch to yeah, I'll do it this way. Pouch is maybe 4.5 long. If you include the Sharpie tip, which is the highest point, you're looking at about 5.5, close-ish to that. And then the weight. This is at an angle, so you can't read it, but I'll read it to you. Yep, 0. 1 pound, pretty much 11 ounces. 1 pound, 11 ounces. This thing is heavy. That is 764 grams. Alright, thanks for watching.